So today when I woke up, I remembered that I don't like iPhones, so the most logical thing to do was to go online and buy an iPhone 13 Pro. There's no way I'm spending £1,400 to have a traffic cone in my pocket. So I wanted to see how far back I can go before the iPhone doesn't feel pro anymore. And somehow I ended up with an iPhone 13 Pro. If I eliminated my S25 Ultra, what would I be missing out on a 4-year-old Pro iPhone? And if you have $5 in your bank account and you're not even planning to upgrade and you're just watching this while you eat, is it even worth upgrading? I legit bought this phone in like 10 seconds, not because I needed it, but because I wanted it to suck so that I can convince you to upgrade, but that didn't go to plan. £375 is how much I paid for this, but then I realized that you can buy this for like under 300 on eBay, so I think I kind of scammed myself. And you know, I could have bought like a 12 pack of traffic cones with the leftover money. But can I just say, this phone looks absolutely delicious. This is what a Samsung S21 looked like, and this is what the OnePlus 10 Pro looked like in 2021 BC. Straight up looks like a kitchen hob. But the iPhone, bruh, it feels like I'm touching the statue of Zeus or the Titanic or a girl's hand, all equally impossible. And the huge camera bump on the back just makes me wanna, even if you go back like 2 years to the iPhone 11 Pro, that tiny camera bump looks like a toy with those tiny little lenses. And even if you compare this to the iPhone 17 Pro, this looks like it came out like last year. In fact, what the hell have they done to the iPhone 17 Pro? This white rectangle thing looks like someone just peeled off a sticker or something. And that long camera bump, huh? And the fact that the whole thing is now aluminium? I get that it's for heat management and performance, but it just doesn't make me excited looking at it like this phone. However, if you look at the hole, it's different to all the other holes, and I don't like that. I'm not even paid to say this, but most of my power banks have built-in USB-C cables, so unless I carry an extra cable, this is pretty pointless. And then if you want to use accessories such as a wireless microphone like this, the transmitter or the receiver, whatever this is USB-C, so it's not compatible with the iPhone. So it's too bad that back then Apple still used the lightning cable. In fact, the lightning cable was used to charge the telephone on the Titanic. I don't know why Apple kept the lightning cable for 10 years. Maybe they just forgot. Who knows? If this phone is still really pro, downgrading from my S25 Ultra shouldn't ruin my life, right? Buying a Pro iPhone always meant that you get an additional lens, that cute little 3x zoom. But that's not even the part that blew me away. I whipped out my S25 Ultra to take a picture of my Christmas tree, and when I did, and when I looked at the photo, I realized how over-processed everything looked. But on the iPhone, it was a whole different story. If you go to photo mode, there's an option called RAW, and if you take the photo, it still looks exactly the same, and it takes like 10 times the amount of storage. And I know, most Androids can already do this, but hear me out. So I can then take that RAW file and drag it into Lightroom, and as you can see, there's a Pro RAW profile, and I can adjust how much of Apple's processing I want to keep. On top of that, I can go down and completely remove the sharpening, so I can get an Apple processed photo without the sharpening. Look, sharpening down, shadows up, contrast up a bit, and boom. Finished. On Samsung though, I don't have the time to edit the photos from scratch. If I go on a holiday and I have like 100 raw photos, I'm probably just gonna delete them. But even in regular mode, the zoom camera sucks balls on Samsung. It's so noisy and grungy, and then you literally spend like 10 seconds editing the raw file on the iPhone and suddenly it doesn't look like a phone. I mean, a photo taken on a phone. And again, this phone is 4 years old. However, there's always a however. Next year with the iPhone 14 Pro, they added a new 48 megapixel sensor. And unlike the useless 200 megapixels that you get on Samsung, that turns into mush. Apple really cooked here. And if you spend like 10 seconds